So I woke up to this morning. Uh, Labour had to cancel one of their marriage equality events um, amid protest threats, right? So I'll have a quick read of this because a lot of people I found a way of cracking into these things without paying for them, but don't tell anyone. Labour leader Ivana Bacik, the former party leader Eamon Gilmore, spoke at the event this evening. The Labour Party was forced to change venues for its marriage equality anniversary event today following threats of protest, it has said. The event was due to be held in the Hen's Teeth. I've heard that place before. That's where the likes of that, I can't think of his Addy Beatty, whatever his name is. You know that coloured chap who's like from the upper class, and he was in a video the other day talking about Malcolm X. That's where he and his little crew hold meetings in the Hen's Teeth in Dublin, eh? But following threats, being made against a number of public representatives, and due to concerns being raised about staff working at the venue, so they have to employ. It's not all about the politicians, it's the staff at these venues as well that they're worried about. Yeah, right. The party said it had no choice but to move the event to the outhouse LGBTQ plus. See, they start putting the plus in now. The Q plus. What do you think that plus is? Put it in the comments below. Centre. The party said it informed the Garda about the member of the public representatives being targeted and also about protests which were due to take place this evening. Sources within the party said the protest is understood to centre around the issue of immigration rather than the subject of the event, the 10th anniversary of the marriage inequality. Now, you see, she doesn't elaborate on this. She just goes straight back to talking about LGBT. But yes, they want to link the two in together, you see. Do you get me? The two completely different subjects, by the way. There's many people out there, right, who couldn't be arsed even looking at LGBTQ or STUVW, right? They couldn't be arsed even looking at that. But they do have a problem with immigration. With the mass migration, should I say. It's not just immigration, it's mass migration at this stage. You can't go out your door now in Dublin without seeing mass migration. It's fucking everywhere. But you see, they have to link the two of them in, because it's soon going to become one and the same. Well, if you're anti-immigration, then obviously you're anti-LGBT, or if you're anti-LGBT, then you're obviously anti-immigration. You see how that works? And she doesn't elaborate on this part here. Sources within the party, so that's enough. That should be enough for you to trust them, right? Sources in the party said the protest is understood to centre around the issue of immigration, and then just leaves it at that. Doesn't say anything else. They said the posters to advertise the events were hung around Dublin in the last week. Party leader Ivana Bacik, Senator Laura Herman, James Carney, Chair of Labour LGBTQ plus Eamon Gilmore, and former leader of the Labour Party spoke at tonight's event. Speaking this event, Bacik said, "It's a great shame that our event to celebrate 10 years of marriage equality was targeted by members of the far right." Now, I've showed you this thing before. If you are on an article like this and you press Control F, you can search how many times a word is said, right? So I'm going to go far right. So they've mentioned it 3 times in this article from what I've seen. Immigration. Immigration is only mentioned once, and the only time they do is they put it in a sentence where it says, sources within the party said the protest is understood to centre around the issue of immigration rather than the subject of the event, the 10th anniversary of marriage equality in Ireland. Elaborate. How did you come to that conclusion? Like, tell us how. You know, so let's turn it on them and go source. Where's the source? You know, where's the source to say that these people that were going to turn up are anti-immigrants? You know. Anyways, like many groups which have been historically marginalised in Europe, yeah. How about nationalists? They're being marginalised to fuck the last few years. The LGBT community has had to fight for its rights, often in the face of intimidation. No, it's haven't. No, you haven't. You have had the clear backing of the government and the media and the Garda. You have infiltrated the Garda. They've infiltrated the army. They're everywhere. These bleeding rainbow squads. They're all paid, by the way. All these rainbow revolutions, yeah. It's all backed by George Soros. If people didn't know, but I'm sure most of you know. Uh, where are we? Labour has always been proud to stand with them in that fight, whether for the discrimination of homosexuality, for legal protections from employment discrimination, for the right to marry, for gender recognition laws, for access to PrEP and other prophylactics. There's a new word for me. Prophylactics and more. More recently, Labour was one of the few political parties in Ireland to remain steadfast in their support for the introduction of stronger hate speech and hate crime legislation. But these are saying these are the ones supposedly that are saying that they've steadfast in the push for hate speech, right? But they're not even backing up their sources. They're not even backing up their own sources. You know, how can that be? How can they be allowed push something if they're not even proving what it is? They're not even proving to us what it is that's against them. They're just blurting loads of words, trying to link people who are anti-immigration, people who are anti-mass migration and anti-LGBT. They're trying to lump them all into one and then saying, "Oh, we need hate speech because look, all these people are against all these things." When it's just a lie. It's more lies. Bacik said while the safety of activists was paramount, the party took the decision not to bow to intimidation. She thanked the Outhouse Centre for offering the use of its venue to allow tonight's event to go ahead, and the Garda for their advice and support in advance of tonight. Thanks was also extended to those in other political parties who came in support of this event, such as the Green Party politicians Michael Pidgeon and Patrick Costello, Jen Cummings of the Social Democrats, and Sinn Féin's Courtney Kenny. So it literally is all of them. You know, no, isn't it weird? Fianna Fáil or Fine Gael didn't come out and support them. So does that mean Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael are anti-mass migration and anti-LGBT? Just saying. If the media is able to just lump mass migration and LGBT together, then we're able to lump what we want together. Okay, get that into you. The far right cannot stop us from coming together to celebrate 10 years of marriage equality. And they cannot stop us from asking what's next for the LGBT rights. Well, I'll tell you what's next for them. They're going to push more and more, right? While pushing for hate speech laws, they're going to push for lowering the age of consent. It's just going to take one of them to be brave enough to get up there, stand up there. And I wouldn't put it past Bacik to stand up there and start talking about lowering the age of consent. Keep an ear out for that. The events of the last few days have only served to emphasise the importance of the question, said Bacik. She said the Labour Party remains steadfast in their determination to see the values of equality, solidarity and fairness for everyone in society, apart from nationalists. If you're a nationalist, then you can fuck off, basically. Speaking at the event, Labour Senator Laura Harman said the 10-year anniversary of the marriage equality is a reminder that there is much work to be done in the terms of equality for LGBTQI+. So now they're after adding an I on. They didn't have an I on it up here, did they? Look, LGBTQ+. And now it's gone up to LGBTQI+. Huh? Is the I integration? You reckon? I'd say that's what it is. Or immigrants. It's probably immigrants. See? So they're slowly but surely tying the two of them in together. And then once something comes out against one of them, once people start speaking bad about one part of this, whether you start talking bad about lesbians, whether you start talking bad about gays, bisexuals, trans, yeah, can't say that word because YouTube will strike me, but you know what I mean. Uh, all immigrants. So once you say anything about any of them, that's what they want the hate speech for. Families in terms of supporting transgender communities. Seeing Hungary ban, go on Hungary, fair play to you. Seeing Hungary ban pride parades is a reminder that rights can be rolled back on and we must protect the rights we have won, she said. So uh, she's claiming this Bacik one. No, it's actually this Laura Harman is claiming because these people fought for the rights of them that it was able to take part. They were able to take part in them events in Hungary and other countries. You know, listen to that sentence again. Seeing Hungary ban pride parades is a reminder that rights can be rolled back on, and we must protect the rights we have won. She said. Okay, Harman. Harman said the party must never stop campaigning for a better future. Now, interesting as well about this author, this one here. You can click into these, right? And it shows you other articles that this individual has done. She did one the other day, which I thought was very bleeding bogus. This one here, see this one here? Roles of influencers to be considered under EU democracy shield plans. Have a go at this one. Now I know it's actually, do you know what? I'll do a separate one on this because I can only do up to 15 minutes. So yeah, the Bacik one and the pro LGBT stuff, like that's they're just full of lies. And like I keep saying to you, that's all they can do now at this stage is just cover up old lies with new lies. And see the way they're starting to consolidate. They're starting to consolidate all these different things that people might object to. So some people might object to mass migration. Some people might reject LGBTQ or ST, right? But what these are doing with articles like this one is they're lumping them all into one. And if you say anything bad about any of them, well, then you're attacking all of them. You know? If you say something bad about Muhammad, then you're attacking LGBT. Do you get me? That's what the hate speech laws are going to be all about. But there you go. I'll do a follow up on this one here, this influence. I found this one very interesting as well.